This video, what we're going to do is we're going to turn the notes on and off and have the ability to answer. And so if we take a look here, I made a boolean variable called notes on. I might have called it note on or notes on in the last video, but I'm going to call it notes is on. So if the notes is on, and so let's take a look at the clicking button. What I do in the clicking button is, and remember the clicking button handles button 1, all the numbered buttons being clicked. So the clicking button has a statement: if the notes is on, what we're going to do is we're going to put the notes by calling the function we made called notes, or subroutine rather, called notes, and it's going to put the selected cell note into the text box. The other thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to change the font, and I believe in one of the earlier videos I talked about changing the font. So if I want the font to be that font, what we do is we say the Soduko array font equals, and I'm going to select a different font. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go and view the designer, and I'm going to take a look at the font property options that I have here on this computer. And so if I click on font, you'll see the default is a sans serif, but I'm going to actually look for the Courier New font, and I'm going to see what the smallest value they have listed here, although you can use any value. If it's not listed, it'll just make one. So Courier New, and I'm going to say size 8. So that size looks pretty good. So I'm going to select the font Courier New. The reason I like Courier New is because it's a mono-spaced font. So in other words, if I put a 1 and a space and a 2 and a space, the size of that is going to be the same as if I did a 4 and a space and a 5 a space. Every character is the same width. So let's take a look at the code here, and I'll go back to making it a Courier New size 8 font. So to do that, I would say it's a new font. The style is Courier New, and the size number was 8, and the style is, I didn't check on the style. Let me go back and check on the style that they have for option. I think it's just called regular. Font style regular. Yeah, there it is. So I'll go dot regular. Great. Now, if it's not, what I want to do is put the selected number in the cell. So again, I'm going to put copy these two lines because it's going to be fairly similar. It's actually going to be quite easy. What we're going to do, if notes is not on, the font I'm going to do is going to be the font that I did in the beginning. And so I just need to take a look at what I did when I loaded the game. And I chose this font. So I'll stick with the font that I chose here. So the font we chose was Verdana Bold. So I will use that for my, let me just, I need to just stick this part is what I'm going to do in the selected cell. So the selected cell is not going to be that Courier one. I'm going to make it this big Verdana font because that's what I've already started with. And then what I'm going to do is the text in the cell is going to equal the value of the button. So not the notes, but what it's going to be is the value of whatever button you click. So if it's a 5, it's a 5. The last thing, so we're done. I'm going to need a button to turn notes on and off. And so that will be very easy to do. I'll just make it real quick, and later on I'm going to change that with a graphic so it looks really nice. But for now, I'll just call this button BTN Notes. And I'm going to say the text is going to be notes off. So right now it's going to say notes off. If I click it, we're going to say if notes on, then the button notes.text is going to equal shoot, my keyboard just changed here. Let's go back to English. Don't know how I did that. Notes off. So if notes is on, the button is going to say notes off, and notes on is going to now be off. But if I clicked on the button and it was off, I'm going to say button notes dot text is now going to say notes on, and notes on is now true. Great. So let's play it, and we'll try to play our game. The only thing we haven't done is check for errors, and that I'll do in the next video. So here, if I put a 5, a 4, a 1, and you can see I can turn them on or off. Suppose I want to put an answer. I'll turn that off, and then I can click on a 5 and it's off. If I click here and I put an 8, notice it's putting an 8. If I click and notes is on, when I click in here, if I have a 7 or a 4 or a 1, it's all going to be set up like that. And if I want to put a number in here, I don't know what the real answer is, but suppose I wanted to put a 3. Oh no, there's a 3. Let's put a 7. So if I turn notes off and I put a 7, you'll see a 7. And so we're pretty well ready to finish our Soduko game. The only thing we need is error checking, and I'll do that in the next video.